A week Wednesday is my birthday.
Hello and welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 91 for the 1st of August 2016. Yay, the year's almost over. If you'd like to email the show, you can email ellindamoon@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter SwineBro666. I am your host, Elliot Lindemood. Alongside my co-host is...
I am the Jim. I shit on everything.
And broadcasting from the future is...
Chaswold, I'm unwell, so I'm not going to say a lot.
It doesn't really matter. You already gave it away. So, yeah. You're a moron.
Anyways, you said you were having interesting conversations.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm very tired. Yes, I was having much interesting conversations. One with the human colostomy bag himself, Shane Mathis, who apparently doesn't want to come on the show because he's scared. At least that's what I got out of it.
Might have to face ideas he doesn't agree with.
Another was on a group called Rational Wiki. I linked to the site because it's a good site, but I'm not really friends with any of the group members. I just kind of saw this post, and I joined the conversation and wanted to drive my head through a wall.
Do you know what people should do? They should get a gif of the woman ringing the bell in Game of Thrones going, shame, and they should put Shane instead and send it to Shane Mathis as, you know, a way of showing him that he's a pussy for not coming on the show.
Yeah.
And if you know what they're talking about, if you know what Game of Thrones is, you can email me with the description at ellindamood@gmail.com, or of course leave a comment. We're always happy to hear from you. Now, it was now the articles from the Daily Dot, which Jim will now read, and I sent him a link to the post, but I don't know if he could view it.
I would have had to have joined the group, and I don't feel like joining that group considering they have everything slanted so much on their fucking Rational Wiki page. It's like, So you're attempting to say you're rational without attempting to remove the bias. It's gotten
a lot better in the past couple months. I mean, and at least the good thing is they admit that they're biased.
Yeah, you can go ahead and admit that, but fuck. I mean, it's, you know, like reading Conservapedia, just from the different angle.
But one of the things I liked, and I kind of, because there was a conversation with a guy, and of course I love the girl saying how many misogynists there were in metal. But there was a conversation. I'm in the group from my atheist days, by the way.
Yeah.
But I like the guy who was basically defending the fact that baby metal was metal. The thing is, he was basically defending the fact that baby metal is metal because it has elements of metal in it, and according to him, it has a musical structure that is called metal.
It's the most metally metal to ever metal, the metal.
No. Go away or I'll reveal your secret identity, which you've already done, so I don't really give a shit.
It's like saying grunge is metal. God.
And then he was like, well, it's a metal J-pop hybrid. And then when I sent him, because we had and then they were complaining about metal cage keepers. And when I sent him the metal elitist episode, which I think was one of our best, he's like, that's really long. Could you give me the TLDR version? And I'm just like, you fucking Twitter generation.
Yeah, you need 140 characters or less to make any really complex and valid point. Fucking morons. You have the attention span of gnats.
I think I could give him the TLDR version. Basically, under the law of identity, which is one of the three classical laws of philosophy, Shane, it basically means that you can define something, and if it fits that definition, then it is A. If it doesn't, then it is not A, and it is therefore not A. It's either A or it's not A. It's that simple. So if you choose to define metal as being a very, 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 very simple principle, and you don't include other things that extend beyond that, then it doesn't fit. So elitism is perfectly fine.
That's not Shane. It's some random guy. I'm not going to give his name, although I desperately want
Same
to.
difference.
But no. Basically,
You telling me Shane wouldn't fucking class baby metal as metal?
I don't know. I can ask him if you want, although I'd rather not. I'll give you the no. I'll give you the TLDR version. Okay. Jesus, fuck, don't open the door, morons. I'll give you the TLDR version. The TLDR version is basically there are bands like let's use the grindcore band Fear of God for an example. Okay, who are more punk than metal, and who because of this aren't accepted on the Metal Archives. Okay, now the Metal Archives is the benchmark for what is metal and what is not, being fairly subjective or whatever, but it's a pretty good benchmark, in my opinion. I'm not saying what's good and what's not. I'm just saying what's metal and what's not. Um, Baby metal have more J-pop influence than metal. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to that. But the thing about the TLDR, I mean, okay, granted it's a 2-hour show, but I don't know. I don't know if you saw, Jim. We had a really good comment from a user named Sea of Vomit on the mental elitism post, who basically summed up his his or her feelings. I'm guessing it's a guy. I don't know. And who said he listened to it in the background. You don't have to always listen to the show in the forefront. Put it on in the background. So that's the problem. I have problems with the TLDR people.
Yeah, they just want the short and skinny and leave out all nuance.
I mean,
Especially when a fucking issue is complex and there are several causes and multiple possible effects, multiple concurrent effects, just everything, and people just don't want to fucking weigh everything because they don't wish to expend the energy.
And don't tell me that, well, I don't have time, because unless you're working as hard as, Jim or whatever, you have time to, put on an episode, listen to it in the background, do whatever, but, there are shows longer than mine that are hits.
I don't even care about that. I just think it's just idiotic that whenever you try to have a discussion, people just want to fuck you to abbreviate it to 140 characters because they have the attention span of gnats and they should die just as quick.
Well, I do care about because it was the show that I was talking. It wasn't just it was I linked them to the show, and there are podcasts longer than mine that are Anarcha was showing us the goddamn podcast.
I don't care. I
think
don't remember.
Oh, come on, let's just be honest. These people are your kind of Dunning-Kruger types who they need the information very simply, because if it's not very simple and they understand how complex the issue they're talking about is, well, then it will allow them to feel 100% confident in the knowledge they think they have.
And his response to me saying that they didn't know anything about metals. Well, I played dark ambient for years without knowing what dark ambient was, and there are subgenres. And I said, well, so basically, what you want to do is you want to, you basically just want to include everything as metal. Let's get to the article because the article explains it.
Man babies throw tantrum over baby metal winning best metal band poll.
Yeah, because they're not metal. If As They Lay Dying won the best metal band poll, I wouldn't be happy because I don't really like them, but at least they're legitimately metal, albeit metal core, but they're legitimately metal. If you listen to them, you'll actually hear there's more metal influence than anything else in there. So I wouldn't be necessarily happy about it, but fine, whatever.
Baby Metal, everyone's favorite cute Japanese metal band and gothic Lolita drag, are more than just a novelty act at this point. They're legitimately one of the coolest metal bands of all time. They're a pop act.
I find that description of what they wear fairly creepy, but that's me.
Lolicon. Born.
Besides, metal isn't supposed to be cute.
It's supposed to challenge you, and they don't offer anything that challenges. Just like pop music doesn't offer anything that challenges.
I mean, granted, I could see Jimmy Savile rocking out to Baby Metal.
No, I've actually watched a video of Rob.
I could see him rocking out in Baby Metal.
I've seen Rob Halford taking the stage, with Baby Metal backing him, singing a couple of fucking Priest songs.
Yeah, well, Rob Halford's about as... Rob Halford needs an auto cue to say breaking the law.
Someone needs to turn their mic down.
Yeah, that is...
Sorry, that's probably me.
Yeah. This was confirmed, albeit somewhat trollishly, when Baby Metal won Best Metal Hammer's 2016 reader poll for Best Album of the Century.
Which Baby Metal's album came out like a month ago, or a year, or whatever. And I think number 3 or 4 was Iron Maiden, The Book of Souls, which isn't necessarily a bad album, but it came out last year. I think an album to be a classic has to be at least 10 years old, but, that's me.
Yeah.
But then again, I know Metal Hammer's readers.
And the real metalheads can't handle a cute metal as hell. Oh, that's so cute they use that. Metal as hell. Idol group. Fuck, they were raised on a pop farm. Literally, it's part
You're
of their
right.
fucking bio.
No. He's right. We can't handle a cute group. If you want to see my ideal metal woman, Betsy from Bitch, freaking bondage outfit.
Okay.
No, that ain't cute. Well, actually, kind of is in a weird way.
Defeating their faves. Well, obviously, it was a public poll. Fuck.
And my faves weren't on it. I've actually looked at the 100. It was pathetic. I mean, there were some good ones, but nothing I could really say was my favorite.
I didn't, because I didn't bother.
Yeah, well, kill yourself.
No. The Facebook comments on the poll announcement indicate extremely high levels of salt about the results, which only makes Baby Metal's victory sweeter.
Take a look at the picture of that guy anyway, the author.
Yeah, I did. Pathetic.
Apparently he looks like he's crying.
Yes. But I just find it funny that it's like, oh, you're crying over this. No, I'm not. I'm pointing and laughing.
I'm raising my sword, getting ready to smite my fucking fuzzy armor. Cause I'm. If you ever seen a picture of Manowar, you know what I'm talking about.
So you're saying a fucking pop band with metal playing in the background, which I've never seen the musicians get any credit for, is best album of the century. That's a good point. They never get credit for what they do in the background. It's always the 3 girls that get the credit. They're the ones always in the spotlight. I think they interviewed one of the guys that was responsible for the writing once out of like millions of interviews with the girls.
And they sing the little J-poppy songs, and everyone's happy. And I mean, it doesn't even work for me as a pop band for one simple reason: J-pop doesn't do anything for me. I prefer sort of American, not American, but like the power pop of like the not like the mainstream, but like the bands like the Shivers and shit like that. That's what I like from pop. J-pop doesn't do it for me. The mostly because most of the women who sing J-pop sound like they're about 3, and I just can't take those high trebles.
Are you ready to laugh at the fucking patheticness of this commenter, though?
Go.
He made one good point, but then he blows it to smithereens by this next one. There are actual bands with talent, like Slipknot, Machine Head, Mushroom Head, Disturbed. Wait, man. Fuck. Godsmack. Oh, God. Old school Corn. Corn.
Do you know what my favourite metal band was? Wu-Tang
No.
Clan. They were
Shut
the better
up.
ones than NWA.
Gaz has a point here. If you're going to include Korn, you may as well include Wu-Tang Clan.
I think the most talented band on that list would be Machine Head, only because the two guitars were in violence. And it took more skill to write Kill on Command and Eternal Nightmare than anything else they've done, but yeah, Slipknot's talented.
Fuck, I'll take the first three Linkin Park albums. You had one good point, and you just fucking discredited yourself right there. Fuck! Oh, God!
Godsmack.
God.
I mean, I can listen to Godsmack. They're not horrible, but God, they're not talented. Well, they're pretty horrible, but you know what I mean. Like, they're listenable. But they're not talented. They're generic. Korn had talent. Come on, Jim. It took talent for Jonathan to cry for 11 minutes on that song.
Yeah.
That was the most painful thing I think I've ever heard.
Thanks for your opinion, Chad. Your comment reached more than 100 likes.
Chad,
no doubt Linkin Park appreciates your support.
And by the way,
Linkin Park. God!
I think Chad might be the worst name in human history.
However, Baby Metal is the winner. God, there's gonna be so much shit here.
Anyone who wants to know a good Japanese metal is look up the band Galhammer or Yellow Machine Gun. Do it now.
All this proves is that the average voter on this poll is a 15-year-old emo kid that likes bands like Baby Metal and Slipknot.
Actually, I think all this proves is that the average reader is some guy with a child fetish and a hand down their pants.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's probably why they like all the Japanese stuff.
Hey, I was talking to a couple chicks that wanted to bang Baby Metal.
They're not my type. Let's put it that way. I prefer some.
I think the only sort of like grown man's type they are is the type of man who ends up talking to Chris Hansen for long periods of time. Do you know what I think?
Apparently, your critic are as well. Yeah.
What's that, Jeff?
I was just going to say, does anybody remember that episode of South Park where they buy the ninja weapons at the state fair?
Yes.
And there's that song, "Let's Fighting Love."
Yes, that's the new Baby Metal single.
I think that is even better than Baby Metal.
Probably. I've only heard
what Baby Metal wishes it was.
I've only heard a couple songs, okay, and I didn't go out of my way to hear them. They were on my friend's Last FM. And I thought they were, I mean, I didn't think, okay, here's the thing about Baby Metal. If they didn't call themselves metal, if their name was Baby J-Pop, and they said they were metal influenced, I would leave them completely alone, because they're not horrible. I can think of far worse bands than Baby Metal.
Well, you know what they are, don't you? They're pop music that is trying to go after the sort of mainstream pop-esque audience. That's what it is.
I disagree, because we were talking about this last Friday, Jim, and basically it was, well, there's a lot of pop bands in the state. I mean, in Japan they're promoted as a pop band, sure, but while there are a lot of pop bands in the States, we need some sort of image. Well, let's promote as some sort of cute metal band, and it's, well, I gotta hand it to them. But they're not unlistenable. I mean, I don't listen to them, but they're not horrible.
I have to fucking dig up the article. It's on my old computer, which died. And that was before I got the other old computer, which is still rotting at the ex-girlfriend's house. But fucking, there was an article I read where what it was pretty much saying we should really care about metal because metal is marketable because they have loyalty. They actually go out and do things like buy physical copies. This is why
Yeah,
we should support metal because
I
marketing.
know that article. I know that article, and I'll find it for you. I think it was from the Wall Street Journal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'll find it for you after.
but you
yeah,
see, that's what it is here. They're marketing towards the fucking metalheads because they want that kind of brand loyalty. They want to sell the millions of copies. They don't want people to just pirate shit like people do that are fans of any other genre. They want people to actually go out and buy CDs in this digital age. And
I mean, I buy CDs, not as much anymore because I got my shit ripped off a couple too many times. So I mainly download. Just I'm not willing to invest the astronomical amount of money I did the first time. You know what I mean? But I will still buy CDs, definitely. Definitely, I'll still buy CDs.
But you see, what they want is that fucking market that you belong to.
Exactly.
You support bands you like, and they're trying to force you to like bands that they spent millions of dollars promoting so that you pay it.
Exactly. The only thing they didn't bank on is that, I mean, the mainstream market maybe, but the underground will not be deceived.
Mm-hmm.
The underground...
And the mainstream market are your chief culprits for downloading for free.
Yeah, exactly. But the underground will turn on bands. I mean, I've heard the shittiest excuses to shit on bands like Incantation that I don't even get. So the underground will turn on bands at the drop of a hat. I mean, I heard Albano, whatever his name is, shit on like Incantation's later work for reasons I don't even get, because I like him. So it's a very hard crowd. But yeah, fuck. Continue with the article before I end my own life.
Unfollowed, which says all you need to know about the mentality of this commenter. Fuck. I have to state that I am unfollowing you instead of just doing it because I want to shame you. God,
I don't even see that.
fucking, the premise of this article is bullshit enough, but the people that they picked were true winners. I gotta give them credit. At least they skillfully picked their fucking statements. No one voted for this. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue is people suck. So you're telling me a band who has been out for not even 10 years with virtually no albums can win Metal Band of the Century when it's only 2016?
That's actually valid.
Because it's 2016.
That's actually valid. I mean, you have bands who have like legacies and shit, and who have actually released some like really good albums. But no, the band they pick has been around for. I think they were born yesterday. Not the band, but the actual people in the band.
I would have rather saw bands like Lamb of God, Killswitch, In Flames, fucking even Nightwish. Mainstream, yes, but albums that kept metal alive in the 21st century.
I would agree with everything except Killswitch and In Flames. Killswitch because fuck Killswitch. In Flames because after the 21st century, literally, they took a complete nose. They were really good up until about the 20s, up until Clayman, and then after that, they took a complete nosedive. I like Nightwish, fuck you, and I like Lamb of God. Fuck you again. Nightwish is pop, metal, sympho power, but God, it's fucking good.
Baby metal has contributed so little and is so new that this poll is a complete joke, much like every Slipknot daily update and Corey interview. Agreed.
Yes.
Judging by the hundreds of complaints, even from baby metal fans, this was a publicity stunt, bought and paid for. It might be, but I doubt it. I actually do think people would
I
have.
didn't see the voting poll, so I don't know if you could have voted more than once or what. I mean, for all I know, they could have just flooded the fucking thing. I don't know.
Who knows? Who cares? Fuck you, Metal Hammer, for selling out your loyal fans who put up with your horrible shit in hopes you will change.
Well, yeah, I read the
Faith in
website.
humanity.
I read the website for one author who talks about black metal, and I'm starting to question his sanity for why he's staying with. I mean, I know he's got to make a living, but there's got to be other metal websites he can work for. Come on,
Unfollowed for life. Such a winner there. I have to shame you by saying I'm not following. Fuck you. It seems a large number of voters would have rather saw baby metal, though. Just some food for thought. Oh, God. Well, whether you really like baby metal or not, it's a delight to see them shake up the heavily dude-centric.
Don't even. I'm not even. Did that guy just mention Nightwish, by the way, which has a female singer?
Yes.
They're very known for having female singers, and the ex-female singers have been on. And how many bands did I mention? Did we mention that have female
I know.
members? 50, 60.
Yeah, I know. We went through an entire thread once, just naming everything that we could think of off the top of our heads, not even looking it up online.
And the funny thing is I found more since then. Oh, God. Yeah, you really, really want to start with me there.
Yeah.
And that was just female singers. That wasn't even female members.
Mm-hmm. World of Metal, and watch the old guard buck against anything new and different. That's not...
the old guard didn't really buck against... I mean, okay, the traditional metalheads didn't like... the traditional Iron Maiden types didn't really like death metal. But the thrash metal people did. Or at least they understood it. And they understood black metal. So you didn't really get as much of... But when new metal came out, it was a mass revolt. So,
because it was fucking alt-rock, not metal.
Yeah, I mean, you'll always get people who, I don't understand these death metal kids. But a lot of the metalheads were like, yeah, okay, I get this death metal stuff. It's maybe even not really my thing, but at least I understand what they're trying to do. Oh, cool, it's from the underground. Then
I've heard people into death metal shit on fucking black metal because bloody, 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 blah. I've heard fucking people in black metal shit on anything that came before it because bloody, 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 blah. I mean,
I've never heard before it, but I've heard after it. I've heard, people who were in the original death metal scene shit on death metal in 1991, 1992 but it wasn't to the point where new metal.
Yeah.
Because new metal was a mass market, mainstream ploy. Same with metalcore. Although metalcore and deathcore had some sort of pseudo underground MySpace thing. Same with baby metal. It's not something new. It's the same crap. Pop metal. It's just we're gonna mix J-pop rather than rap.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hated that.
It's taming down metal, is what I'm trying to say. Rather than, which is what metal was about. It was about challenging extremes and preconceived notions. Why did they do death metal? Why did they go from Hetfield's voice to, say, Mike Browning's on Abominations or David Vincent's on Altars? Why did they go lower and lower? Because they wanted to see how far they could push it. They wanted to challenge the preconceived notions of what you could do. Why did Chris Barnes, when Chris Barnes, Chris Barnes is Jim, obviously, original Cannibal Corpse vocalist. When he started out with Leviathan and originally with Cannibal Corpse, he had a pretty typical thrash bark. And you've heard him on Tomb of the Mutilated.
Mm-hmm.
very different. And he went there because he was trying to challenge and by the way, everyone, I'm not saying that, we should all be the heaviest, band in the world, but I'm saying certain bands went heavier because they wanted to challenge preconceived notions and wanted to see how far they could take it. Now, if you want to play 1986 death metal, yeah, go ahead. I'm not saying everyone has to play ultra technical, brutal death metal. But what I'm saying is that was the goal of metal, to at least be extreme. And with baby metal, you're toning down. You're not trying to take it into a new direction of extremity, a new level of extremity. Let's see how low we can take this. Let's see how fast we can take this.
You're not even trying to refine what we already have built.
Yes.
I mean, something can be said that everything has been done before. You can't fucking push the barrier farther than it has because we've already blown it out of the water. You just try to refine your art from there. This isn't even doing that. It's going, and
combined styles.
It's like saying we're going back to hair metal days.
Yeah, I mean, refine
She's my cherry pie, put a smile on my face, 10 miles wide.
Shut it, God, don't even, no. That's on the radio all the fucking time where I am. Yeah, I hate you, Jim.
But the statement is, that's what this is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not refining the art. It's just rehashing what has already existed.
I like to go back to what you said about how I'm convinced we've kind of reached the barrier of how extreme we could get. But yes, refine it, take it in different directions of extremity. Combine death and black metal, death and doom, death and black and doom. Make it or play old school death and try to refine the old school death sound to its.
Even though revival of classical thrash styles, that's got more meat to it than this because they're attempting to refine an art that's already been explored fully.
Yes, I'd rather listen to the worst retro thrash band than baby metal. I know. And by the way, Jim actually doesn't mind baby metal. I'll just point that out.
Yeah, I actually like them. They're a decent pop act, but that's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. They're not or trying to experiment with. Well, let's mix black, death, and doom together. That let's see what happens there, and maybe something masterful will come out of it.
And I think the funny part is like whenever you encounter people, they say, "Oh, I'm metal. I like Metallica. I like Load." What? That's all rock beyond fucking watered down piss sand shit.
Yeah, even if
that was one of the first fucking. I think that was the first metal album I ever sold. Out of my own collection. I got it saying, "Okay, well, let's give it a chance." And then I heard it, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, no!"
I mean, if you said you liked the Black Album, I would laugh at you. But at least that is in some way metal. A watered down version, sure, but it's metal, at least, you know. But
I mean,
Reload,
that is what got me into metal. One of the two albums, that and fucking Countdown,
which is probably more metal than Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
But Reload was, I believe, as the reviewer Autothrall on Metal Archive said, what do you say, watered down hard rock for suburban rednecks and NASCAR races.
And you even like NASCAR, and you'll accept that as a fucking insult.
Yes, of course I like NASCAR, but I fucking hate the music they listen to. Although saying that NASCAR on Fox, the compilation, sorry about my dogs barking, because they try to do this thing where they try to get NASCAR, cover songs and stuff into metal and things like that, and they try to appeal to, this is in 2001, 2002, where, new metal was experiencing some sort of craze or whatever, and I was 8, and of course when you hear Fueled by Metallica at age 8 and you don't know anything different, so I will say that Reload got me into metal, but at the same time, just because something gets you into metal doesn't mean you have to like it still.
Yeah. Maybe it is the baby metal haters who are the babies in this situation.
No.
Well, you picked a couple babies in the posts above, but seriously, Most people that are on this fucking "you guys are full of it" train that I've seen are just pointing and laughing. That they're not crying. They're not creating a big stir about it. I don't even think we're creating a big stir about it. We're just fucking shitting on things to shit on it.
Yeah, I basically I found it randomly, just browsing the internet. I wasn't even looking for it. I was actually looking to make fun of my friend who thinks he has to post a post every 10 minutes about nothing. And I found this. Oh, shut up. My dogs are locked up, so they're freaking crying.
To make matters worse for metal snobs, Metal Hammer's critics have named mask-wearing new metal group Slipknot's Iowa the best album of the century, which we shit on that album. That article and everything.
Yes, and Slipknot is not metal.
That's alt rock. Go away.
Mm-hmm.
That pick is not going to play well with the snobs who want technical virtuosity or even genre purity.
Do I want technical virtuosity? I listen to Hellhammer. Have you ever heard Hellhammer? They had to slow down so the drummer could do his double bass parts. That's how bad they were, and yet they wrote the most amazing songs. I laugh at bands like Brain Drill for being too technical. Brain Drill is like death metal on autism.
Also, your tech death usually degenerates into complete garbage because it's all about the novelty of, hey, look at me, I can do fucking time signature switches here, 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 and here. But it doesn't even work in a coherent song. You don't understand how to work it into a fucking coherent song like so many.
Tech death used to be death metal that was played well. Bands like Suffocation were called tech death, technical death metal, because they were death metal, but they were technical. They did do some Demolic, oh shit, other bands like that. They were death metal, either classical or more brutal, and they were technical. They could do different time changes and stuff, but they could also be brutal. Now you have Obscura, which sounds like flower metal with some really annoying screamy vocals on it, or Brain Drill, which is an autistic's idea of what death metal sounds like. I'm not just saying.
Hey, I take offense with that. I take offense with that because an autistic would probably do better.
Yeah, probably. I think you've heard Brain Drill. It's basically. I mean, I'm not saying they're not great musicians. I'm just saying they can't write a song to save their ass.
Mm-hmm. Iowa was one of those teenage rebellion records that 90s kids owned in high school during the reign of Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, and it only managed a 68 on Metacritic. Should get lower.
I never actually owned Iowa. I owned the self-titled one. This is when I was 12, mind you. The first one.
Yeah, I owned both, and they were lost, and I have not bothered to fucking reinvest because it's like, well, how often am I in the mood to listen to this? Like, never. Just something I'll listen to if it comes on the radio, and that's
I can't even do that anymore. I'll just laugh at it. I will just literally sit there and laugh at it. And they're like, why are you laughing? I'm just like, listen to what they're saying.
People equal shit.
Listen to how they're saying.
Equal shit. Okay, yeah, we get it. Humans are scum. Why not go on to how they deserve to die instead of just...
No, my favorite, the Heretic Anthem.
555-666.
It's not even in league with Satan. I mean, as childish as that song is, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted the song's not actually about real Satanists or whatever. It's, basically a horror movie, but the song works. It's just basically saying 666 every now and then. Ooh, wow.
Those who've moved beyond efforts to scare mom and dad will do well to steer clear, though they've probably made that choice already, wrote AV Club whenever fucking about Iowa when it was released. And yeah, if you've moved past trying to piss off your parents, There's no reason to listen to it.
No, I mean, I actually got my dad to play some death metal. He didn't like it, but he played it. Um, I was never really about pissing off my parents. It was never about that. It was actually just I could get away with Slipknot because it had a parental advisory thing. By the way, once again, I was 12 years old, but it was easy to find, and so I could get away with so it was just like yeah okay, and then what I really wanted at that time was some sort of brutal death metal. And that was the closest I could get, unfortunately.
You see, the song that got me into fucking metal was fucking Sweating Bullets. Okay.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to Hello, me. Meet the real me.
Go ahead. But, and that was simply because, okay, I had been in a mental institution. I got out of a mental institution, went into a partial program, and I was fucking being bullied exclusively when I returned to fucking high school for being the fucking nutcase. Never thought I was trying to be hardcore when all I was doing was being honest. They didn't bother to question why I was in the loony bin, which was for being a suicidal fucking depressive idiot.
Yeah.
So here I am, knowing I'm a nutcase, knowing I have a history as a nutcase, ridiculed for being a nutcase, and here's a song saying, hey, it's okay to be a nutcase. I was like, wow, this really speaks to me on like a level. And I mean, as years went on, I was like, yeah, it's childish, but I was a child when I got into it, so fuck you.
I get what the lyrics are trying to say. I mean, I mainly just make fun of the song because it's like the most simplistic thing ever.
Yeah, it is simplistic, but that's what got me going down. And like, a few weeks later, there I am at local underground death metal shows, trying to determine whether the fucking feedback is accidental or actually meant as part of the music. But I found out, yes, it was actually meant as part of the music.
I think I asked someone that, and his response was, "Don't care, sounds cool."
Uh-huh.
It was a band.
Well, that was the response I got. Oh fuck, I forget the fucking name of the band too. And I used to hang out with like a couple of members. I was even asked to fill in a shoe for like I was only there for like 2 weeks playing bass until they found someone much better than me because fuck out mediocre. Fuck it. I followed directions. That's all I could do.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was Incantation? I know how many live members Incantation have used. You've probably played live for Incantation.
No, I didn't play live. This was just practice sessions trying to hammer out new songs.
I don't know what town from Pennsylvania they are, but I know they're Incantation's from Pennsylvania.
But still, and I was rightly passed over. I was mediocre, but still, and I forget the names of everyone involved. I forget the name of the band even, but I still see like the one guy that was like the drummer every now and then. Paul, hey Jim, how's it going? Hi, guy whose name I don't remember, but I remember where I remember you from.
If you ever see him, be like, hey, I did too many drugs. What band are you in again?
I've done that to him every time we bumped into each other at concert. Dude, the drugs are wrecking with me. I still can't remember your name. I told you the past 6 times. I know. That's how much I brained my damage. Fuck.
I have brain damage. Don't worry. It's only permanent. Yeah, I've been trying to get a list of bands from Pennsylvania, but I can't find a good list of bands just to fuck with them. I know a couple really good ones though from the town.
Anyways, this article just goes into a fucking bunch of tweets saying, these are the people that hate Slipknot, and okay, whatever. We already shit on Slipknot.
Reality shat on Slipknot. Let's be honest.
I like Slipknot. Actually, Jim, I'll confess, I actually really like the band Slipknot and Disturbed. Slipknot, the band who released the EP in 1988, and Disturbed, who released an album around the same time. Basically, I'm making 2 thrash metal bands. Isn't it weird that there are 2 thrash metal bands from the 80s, both called Slipknot and Disturbed?
God, it's like my fucking comment about liturgy. Yeah, I like the old school band before this new fucking neo-yuppie filth ripped off the name. and
Yes.
decided to use it for fucking Tremolo picked Savage Garden songs,
And
writing a manifesto saying, "Dear God, if you don't enjoy our music, here's how to enjoy it, because you have to be fucking pretentious fucks like we are."
the band Liturgy apparently was so embarrassed they had to change their name to Liturgy AD. So the older band actually changed the name to avoid confusion with the newer band. Because
Blame them though, by the sounds of it.
No, you can't blame them at all. You know, fucking Hunter Hunt Jackson or whatever. I don't even care.
Hunter
Hunt
Hunt
Hendricks.
Hendricks.
There we go. That's a person that just needs to be cut from his neck down to his anus, his cock and balls ripped out, shoved so far up his ass with a punching dagger he vomits them out, have him fucking pureed and fried up right in front of him for their force-fed back to him through a tube, and then you fucking take that punching dagger and jab holes in his fucking cheeks, then punch him in the gut so he vomits it all back out, so that the last thing he senses in this life is the taste of his own refried, regurgitated, shit-coated, rusted, unbathed cock and balls.
I actually had something to say, and now I can't because you've corrupted my mind. I actually had something I wanted to say. Fuck. Liturgy. Oh yeah, that interview with him. I've heard the expressions of his band members were like, "Dude, shut up! You're embarrassing us."
Yeah, his band members, "You're embarrassing us. Please quit." They didn't say it, but you could see it written all over their faces every time he opened his mouth.
Yes, I've read it described as they look like they wish to throw him from a fifth-story window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I understand. I've heard I didn't actually get around to watching the full thing. I heard about 2.5 minutes of it, just the live show combined with his voice. I don't know. I woke up covered in blood.
Okay. So we're moving away from the Daily Dot and off to Metal Sucks.
Oh boy. Yay, metal sucks.
Editorial piece here.
Oh God.
Stop saying politics have no place in metal.
I saw this on Friday and I had a sick, horrible, pathological feeling we were going to have to tackle this. And I was dreading this.
Yes. Read it and weep.
Oh, I'm weeping. I am weeping.
Prepare for the pretentiousness. As this politically conscientious years continues, that's exact grammar there. We here at Metal Sucks continue to comment, as we always have, on the political environment and the way it's reflected, positively or negative, in the music we love, and often the behavior of the people who make the music we love.
And by comment, you mean you have Black Lives Matter written all over your website.
And you have... I'm not even going to take issue with that at the moment. What I am going to take issue with is the pretentiousness here. The lack of understanding. As we will see. We've increasingly received some variation of the following message. Stop talking about politics. Politics have no place in metal.
When I was a kid and a little more naive, I always thought that punk was the place for politics and metal was the place for exploring your darkest fantasies. And if you were to talk about politics and metal, you would have to do it in more of a opaque,
nuanced
thing.
Matter.
No, I mean, bands like Napalm Death could get away with it because they're, grindcore. They blur the line between punk and metal. You know what I mean? And thrash bands or crossover bands like, DRI could get away with talking about politics and metal because they blur the line between punk and metal. But let's say a band like Merciful Fate stops singing about Satan and starts singing about the Cold War. It wouldn't work unless they use Satan as a metaphor for the Cold War. But if King Diamond was like, stop apartheid now.
No, listen to fucking Megadeth's work.
Yeah.
They got really political, but yet they did it in a nuanced fashion, such a nuanced fashion that even if they're telling you what their conclusion is, it still left you enough wiggle room to make up your own fucking mind.
I have to interject here. We're talking about old Megadeth, not new Megadeth, where Dave Mustaine basically gets onto a podium and screams, "I am a Christian idiot! I am a Christian idiot!"
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, I have exceptions for grindcore and crossover thrash because they definitely were the line between punk and metal. But I think for metal it needs to be a little more nuanced. That's why Bound for Glory I don't care, because they're more, they're punkish metal.
But then you got like fucking Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets was very nuanced, though. I mean, it was. If you didn't know,
you had your Leper Messiah, you had fucking Disposable Heroes. They were both those songs were making direct statements.
But it wasn't.
This is the conclusion we've come up with, but there was enough nuance where you could just let your mind wander.
Yeah, it wasn't start the war now, end the war now. Yeah, I mean, it was, but they weren't saying it like that. They were saying it in a way that was a little more alliterative. Yeah. So I think, I mean, and of course, this must be used with the caveat that if the music is great, it doesn't really matter what the lyrics say. Just saying. Yeah. But anyway, continue. I mean, this. From what I've seen, this story is hilarious.
With all due respect, beloved readers, this assertion is total horseshit. Thank you for saying that you respectfully call my comments horseshit.
Is this by?
I've never fucking made that comment. I just like shitting on your work.
Is this by Goldberg?
This is by Rosenberg.
Okay, it is by Matt Goldberg, which I will now start calling him by his proper name.
Okay.
Because I'm an asshole.
It's such total horseshit, in fact, that I can't even believe we have to explain to you that it's such total horseshit.
I mean, feel free to sing about whatever you. I mean, I know plenty of bands whose lyrics suck, but whose music rule. I mean, if you think about it, there are a lot of thrash bands whose lyrics are kind of lame. Basically, oh my God, nuclear war, but they don't deal with any nuance or any semblance of understanding. I mean, how many punk bands have awful lyrics? How many punk bands have the dumbest, empty-headed, vaguely political, but I don't exactly know what I'm talking about lyrics? And yet, they get a pass because the music rocks. So, that's just a little caveat I have to say.
The last great album of the classic Slayer era, Seasons. Fucking just sit there and listen to fucking, what's it called? Skeletons of Society.
Oh, yes. Glorious.
That is 100% political. It is 100% about nuclear war, the cost of it, and everything dealing with it. And yet, it is done with such nuance that it just lets you sit there and ponder the actual human condition, what we're actually capable of doing to each other.
Yeah, I mean, DRI's Acid Rain has pretty... You get the sense that they don't actually know what they're talking about with that song, but it's pretty decent. But yeah, Skeletons of Society, yeah, you just let the images come.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's 100% political. It has made its stats, but the nuance is just there where you can just absorb it all and come up with your own conclusions about it.
Yep.
But apparently we do. So even if you ignore the fact that all art is political, all art is political.
Yes, because Death Piggy's song about dinner in the morning is very political, with the lyrics dinner in the morning, dinner in the evening, dinner in the afternoon. Yeah, he came to town, he ate the ground. Yes, that's political right there.
Milk.
Dude,
Give me some goddamn milk.
don't even joke about that. Milk is the most serious political song I've ever fucking heard.
Oh God!
I think that was a damn. I think I ripped that off from Dan Lilker without realizing it. Sorry, Danny, but it was because he was talking about how he wasn't hugely into some of the lyrics because they were just trying to piss people off, and they're like, "What, like milk?" He's like, "Yeah, milk." Really offensive. I just want some milk.
Whether it intends to be or not, hell, everything's political, period. You breathing air is political now.
Well, I'm going to get a drink of Rockstar right now. This is going to be political. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
That was political.
Oh my God, I had no idea that was a thing in the Democratic Party.
It's not as bad as, I shit you not, I was listening to the radio broadcast of the NASCAR race today. I shit you not, the lead announcer was eating while he was talking. How professional. Literally, he was like, "I'm welcome," and the foggers. It was just like, how professional are you? Anyway, but that was political right there when he ate on the microphone.
Metal and hardcore have a long history of taking inspiration from political strife. Yes, they do, but it seems you lack the okay. Let's try to get my brain back together by reading more of this insanity.
Insanity. Yeah.
Consider the very origins of the genre itself. The first honest to Satan metal band, Black Sabbath, was composed of 4 working class dudes.
Christians, by the way. The first honest to Satan metal band is Coven. Kill yourself if you don't agree.
Ozzy Osbourne dropped out of high school at age 15 and worked a series of blue-collar jobs before spending 6 weeks in jail for robbery. Tony Iommi was just 17 when he lost the tips of his fingers while working in a factory. He had these 2 legends been from moneyed families. Osbourne would almost certainly have completed his formal education, and Iommi almost would certainly not have been working in a factory.
Well, yeah, and we're not denying that. What we're saying is, I think when people say metal has no place in politics, you have no place in politics because your political editorials tend to either suggest that you A, don't know what you're talking about, or B, have your own agenda.
Yep. Consequently, Iommi would have never have to tune his guitar down to make sure the strings more flexible, and Ozzy might have identified and imitated the lovey-dovey lyrics of his heroes, the Beatles.
Which, to be fair, he did later on.
Mm-hmm. The world might have never experienced Iommi's dark, intimidating guitar sound, and Ozzy may have never written about war and death and evil.
Ozzy never did write about war, death, and evil. He never wrote a goddamn note. He always had members writing for him. Don't believe what you hear about Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not taking anything away from him. He was a vocalist. I don't think he was that good. But whatever, his contribution to metal will not, I'm not going to argue that. But he never wrote a damn word.
So that's beautiful right there. They didn't even research the material.
Bill Ward and Geezer Butler wrote most of the lyrics, and then when Ozzy wrote his when Ozzy had his solo project, he co-wrote songs, but I don't think he ever really wrote a song. He either had songwriters or members of his band write, and that's why they were so pissed off because they weren't getting royalties, because they were like, dude, we wrote this with you.
Yay. Metal is the direct result of its creators' socioeconomic backgrounds.
I'm not gonna start out with my Black Sabbath conspiracy theories because that probably piss a lot of people off. I like Black Sabbath, but let's just say I don't think they were as organic as people say they are. I think in some ways they were manipulated by the record company into becoming Black Sabbath from Earth. That is my opinion. That, of course, none of the fans or band will agree with, but that is my opinion.
Further, there's more to it than just that. It was also, there was this thing at the time called the hippie movement, which a lot of the original work sprung as a protest against that.
Well, and also, this is just, once again, according to the official story, they were also interested in things like dark books or whatever, and as a warning against evil and things like that.
You know, this is also coming. You have to remember, this article is coming from an author that views reactionary as a derogatory term. Whenever, something happens, you react.
I used to a long time ago before I actually learned the full meaning of the word reactionary.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, but I was 16.
And while Sabbath were content to let this fact be subtext on their eponymous debut, their second album, 1970's Paranoid, released in the thick of the Vietnam War, tackles the connection between class and military conflicts head-on on its very first song, War Pigs.
Actually, they used nuance. If it was head-on, it would have been, fuck those fucking assholes,
Yeah.
It was metaphorical and nuanced. Yes, they said it, but it wasn't. I mean, you didn't come up in the punk scene. You didn't hear all these bands. Reagan sucks. Fuck Reagan. And as much as you might agree with it, you have to think how many people actually understood. I mean, I was talking to a punk from the '80s the other day, and he said that something to the effect of, he mainly said Reagan sucked because he kind of knew Reagan sucked, but he didn't really know anything about Reagan. And it was only like years later where he's like, oh yeah, that guy was a war criminal, basically. But, in the 80s, he basically wrote songs about Reagan sucking, basically to fit in, and because, yeah, he had a feeling Reagan sucked, but he didn't know anything about it.
Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Why should they go and fight? They leave that role to the poor.
Exactly, but then he gets into more Satan spreads his wings and things like that, or
Mm-hmm.
He gets into more.
Time will tell on their power minds, making war just for fun, treating people just like pawns in chess. Wait till their judgment day comes.
Ooh, Judgment Day. Ooh, so scary.
These lyrics go beyond an objective observation about war. They are explicitly commenting on who starts and who is forced to finish them. They are overtly political, as political gets. Yeah, so?
Would you say that the issue is more, not that politics doesn't belong in metal, as in, like, there are songs that can, talk about things to do with politics.
I think
as part of the kind of like subtext of the song.
I think the issue here, Chaz, is more metal sucks' issue, opinion or handling of politics is what they are really trying to get at here, because they don't handle it very well.
I was more talking about trying to use the fandom as a way of pushing politics, which was kind of what Gamergate and Metalgate were about.
I mean, every band who sings about politics is, if you're crazy enough to believe this, pushing some sort of agenda. Every band who sings about politics, unless you just objectively say there are Congress and the House of Representatives, if you sing about your opinions of politics, and if you're cynical enough to believe this, you're pushing your own agenda. Okay, you could argue that Sabbath was pushing an agenda with War Pigs. I call you a lunatic, but you could argue that. So it's not about that. It's more about the way Metal Sucks handles politics.
But I mean, at the same point, what you got to be careful of is when you get these publications, much like you did with sort of Gamergate, where they start going towards the point of where it's like, if you're a true metalhead, then you would vote for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, well, no one takes this site seriously. I haven't actually ever met a fan of Metal Sucks in my life.
Sabbath set the tone for metal in all ways, and that includes being politically outspoken.
I forget the Cannibal Corpse song, "Let's all be political and kill for..." Yeah.
Yeah. There is a seemingly endless list of metal bands that have tackled political issues. Often in one or more of their most popular songs. Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills. Duh. Judas Priest's Breaking the Law. About the connection between economic hardship and crime. I wouldn't say that's what it's about. I think
you're reading a little too much into it. I mean, I think that's what it's about, but it's a very basically written song.
Yeah.
I think it's about basically someone being bored, maybe economically hard pressed, but also being bored, and just basically being, no one cares if he lives or dies, so, why not just fucking break the law, rob some banks, kill people?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's about being, having, it's just like, well, hey, I might as well begin to put some action in my life, to quote the song.
Metallica, they have an album called Injustice for All.
Which is, okay, I'll admit this, even though I like the album, the title track is the most, pathetically written political song ever, because it just says, and justice is dead, man, but it doesn't actually give examples.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the album, but they could.
Megadeth, 98% of their songs.
Yes, but I still want to be a dick. Oh yeah, because Rattlehead is so political. I'm sorry, Jim. I had to be a dick.
Mm-hmm. Anthrax, Indians.
Fuck Anthrax.
Slayer, see Megadeth, which is 98% of all their songs.
I would say it's closer to 50.
Yeah.
And by the way, yes, okay, Anthrax was political. I don't fuck Anthrax.
Exodus, and then there were none. Children of a worthless God.
Children of the Worthless God is the funniest lyrics ever. And then there were none is basically just general war. It was written on the album Bonded by Blood, which, if you're a metal fan and you've never heard Exodus is Bonded by Blood, I'm never speaking to you as long as I live. It is amazing.
Testament, the New Order. Practice what you preach.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sepultura, the entire Chaos AD album.
Chaos AD, tanks on the streets, confronting police. Ugh, just fucking kill me now. And you like that album?
Mm-hmm.
Roots, bloody Roots.
Ah, fuck off. I don't even like that.
Hey, Chaos is one step above it. At least Chaos actually had riffs.
Mm-hmm. Death, Spiritual Healing.
Fuck that album. Nah, it's better than I remember. I think it's their last good album.
I'm just thinking of the song Altering the Future.
Yes. I don't think it's the most. But I think it's their last good one. Then they went all proggy and nobody cares.
Carcass, keep on rotting in the free world.
Yes, the Swan Song album, which I like. Heartwork, some of the Heartwork songs. Yeah, Carcass went from gore to politics. In fact, actually, I hear that Carcass's gore stuff was actually supposed to be kind of an analogy for, because they were all vegetarians at the time, and it's supposed to be an analogy for eating meat, for eating meat. So it was, you could say they were pushing an agenda of vegetarianism, but God, they did it in such a cool way, didn't they? Like rather than preaching about it and say don't eat meat, vomited anal tracts.
Deicide.
What songs deicide?
A band devoted to anti-organized religion creeds.
That's not political. That's fucking religious. Dumb shit. What? Huh?
Anything to prove their point, even if it doesn't.
What?
Pantera, no good. Attack the radical.
Oh, God. Here. I'm going to express Pantera's political ideology. I'm gonna drink Pabst Blue Ribbon and ride around in a big truck. But Deicide's not political. I mean, and by the way, I love Deicide. As Jim knows, they're my favorite death metal band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to understand what. Okay.
Guns N' Roses, Civil War.
Next.
Alice in Chains. That's
Next.
not even metal. Why?
Alice in Chains was metal at one point. In the very beginning.
Rooster?
I said in the very beginning. I didn't say Rooster, did I? But they're more metal than Guns N' Roses ever were.
Living Color.
Oh, yes, the great thrash metal. But Living Color isn't fucking metal. Oh, God.
Rage Against the Machine.
They didn't even know what they were talking about. And they're not even metal. They're alt rock.
Mm-hmm. Lamb of God.
Yeah, Lamb of God was very political, but they expressed it in a profoundly stupid manner. I'll even say that if someone doesn't mind Lamb of God, they really, really, really didn't know what they were talking about.
Killswitch Engaged.
Yeah, but Killswitch Engaged, once again, really didn't know what they were talking. That's a problem with politics. You have to do it carefully, because if you don't, you just sound like a tit.
God Forbid.
I guess I haven't looked into God. I saw them live once. I haven't looked into them enough.
Yeah.
Fuck God forbid.
I haven't looked into them, so whatever. Avenged Sevenfold.
Next. When is Avenged Sevenfold metal?
9 Inch Nails.
Next.
You're grasping here. Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson.
No. Seriously. Real conversation. This pisses me off. Not one word about Sabaton, a band who concerns themselves with history and wars. Granted, most of it's objective commentary, but they do talk about, on their Swedish concept album about that Swedish king of basically Mr. War. They do basically hint at a sense of desperation because basically he was locked in permanent war, and it was a metaphor for the times of the Iraq War. Not even a mention of Sabaton? What the fuck? I mean, they're a little more objective, but they talk about history and wars and politics and shit all the time. What the hell?
All Shall Perish.
I'm not going to say anything about them because I don't know their lyrics, but they're probably the best deathcore band that ever existed. And even then, they're okay.
OTEP.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a lesbian woman on vocals. Oh, she's metal now. New metal garbage. And by the way, yes, very funny, hipstery political lyrics.
I could go on and on. Don't even get me started on hardcore, a genre with such strong political leanings that there's an entire Wikipedia section devoted to those leanings.
Yes, there is. I've read it. But hardcore is not metal. It's punk rock. Yes, the two overlap now, but there is a difference. But I agree with what he's saying, just not the way he's saying it or most of the examples.
And those are just songs with explicitly political lyrics and albums.
Slayer's 98% political. Jim, remember the really political song Antichrist? And the really political song, oh God, what's another really political song? Fuck, I'm blanking here.
Black Magic Night.
Yeah. Aggressive Perfector? Granted, they did get more political later on. Especially with bands, especially later on with like Divine Intervention and shit like that, they got a lot more political.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I would say it's closer to 50, 60. I would say 70 nowadays.
The fact that politics is a constant talking point in extreme music is even less surprising when you consider that metal is angry music for angry people.
Apparently, yeah, but no one was saying it's not about. They're saying you can handle political topics. You, yourself, the website. Because you handle them with all the tact and with all the naivety of a drunken 4-year-old who's just been hit in the head by a fucking hermaphrodite.
Yay.
And the images come to Jim's head.
It reminds me of my childhood. Anyway.
You were hit in the head by a hermaphrodite?
I guess. I don't know. I know that I liked the damn cough syrup, which was just code name for whiskey.
Yeah, but didn't we all?
You put the whiskey in the tea, add the lemon, and go.
Yummy.
I'm having a cough. Please help me. I'm still coughing more. I'm still coughing more.
I'm not coughing.
Please, I'm still feeling miserable. Blah, blah, blah. You can't even move, Jimmy.
And thus we expose another interesting element of Jim's childhood.
And there's nothing more worth getting angry about than the ways in which our leaders are fucking up the world. Or how about the ways we fuck up each other? Or how about the ways humanity has always been at war no matter what? War is all we fucking know.
This show, weirdly enough, Jim, has only strengthened my apathy regarding politics. I mean, not that I don't comment on it here, but just whenever we get off air, I don't give a shit. But, oh my God, Donald Trump says something. I don't want to hear about it. Oh my God, if you vote for Hillary Clinton, I don't care. Oh my God, if you do, yeah, I just want to listen to death metal. I'll listen to political music, obviously, but I don't want to hear other people's opinion. I'm so apathetic whenever we get off the air. Well, okay, the internet, if you want to be really technical, about politics. I don't feel angry about politics. I just feel drained. I feel angry about some other stuff.
Do most of the songs mentioned above lean left?
Some of Megadeth's stuff, I'd say up until he became a Christian. Yes, some are just general. I'd say most of them.
Most of them were completely general. Fuck.
I'd say a lot of them lean at least ever so slightly to the left.
And then you had some that were leaning more towards the right.
Well, none that they mentioned is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but these
because they're not gonna mention Screwdriver.
Anything that doesn't promote themselves, I know.
Bound for Glory.
Well, no, that's punk and shit.
Bound for Glory is punk and metal. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm
They
just.
they
But you're
cross
also
over.
going straight for the fucking throat on that one.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is I can't think of any generic right wing bands though. Is what I'm saying. Like Latter Day Megadeth, maybe some Slayer, but not really. Uh, I mean, other than like joke songs about how war is good for the economy. I mean, maybe Cro-Mag saying that there's no such thing as world peace, which is true. But I don't really consider that right wing. So I can't really think of anything that's like generic right wing. It's usually, I don't know. It's usually to the center if it's more like that.
Oh, yeah, of course. I never understood why anyone is surprised that creative people are predominantly liberal.
Okay, now you know why I wanted to go for the fucking throat. I think Bound for Glory kept thrash alive in the 90s. And by that I mean they were the only decent thrash band pumping out music in the 90s. And they were a fucking Nazi band.
God, you just automatically assume people's political leanings. And you even mentioned Megadeth, who fucking went all over the board. Now currently right, had some leftist shit, had some fucking middle of the road shit, went fucking wrecked. You just turn a blind eye to anything that states, okay, whatever. Thinking outside the box is what they do. You apparently don't. You confine yourself so much inside the box.
I mean, Burzum's not really. I guess Burzum's political in like the most general sense, as in I hate you and I hate everything you stand for, and I'm rebuilding society and I want to rebuild society. But they never really blatantly touched on politics. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of creativity on the right, as evidenced by my music collection.
Mm-hmm. So naturally, they're not gonna jibe with any traditionalist worldview.
Any band who sings music. I mean, I showed a BFG album, Feed the Machine, which isn't blatantly racist or whatever. It's one of their new ones, Jim, so you wouldn't know. To an apolitical or to a left-wing friend, he's like, wow, this is really, really good. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is Bound for Glory. And he was like, really? I was always told that all the Nazi music sounded the same and was, like, devoid of talent. I'm like, yeah, I was too.
Yeah, and same thing goes with, the left-wing thing. You gotta fucking dig in order to find the good shit. I mean, we looked out, we got fucking legacy acts that made it big enough that people will know, but there's also a bunch of shit that you gotta filter through to get to the good shit. Like I said, there's like 3-4 fucking Nazi bands I like out of literally thousands that were pushed on me, and most of those thousands were the same garbage over and over again.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 Nazi punk bands. The ratio of NS black metal is a little bit higher, but there's a lot of NS black metal that sounds basic. I mean, I showed you that band Jewicide. That was so generic, and the only reason I remember is because of the name. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have actually remembered anything about it.
God.
Jewicide.
So while there are definitely exceptions, no doubt these songs tend to be anti-conservative. But that's actually beside the point.
God, I just want to listen to Dr. Martin Dental Plan now. And I am a liberal who's saying this.
You don't need us to tell you that you're free to disagree with our political opinions or the political opinions of any musician.
Apparently we do.
Yeah, because you keep writing articles like this telling us we have to just accept. Not debate, not question, not shit on, just accept. Which is all this is a long-winded retort saying accept everything we say.
Which is, if you get anything out of this show, other than that the host has an annoying voice and the co-host is misanthropic and the other one doesn't say anything. You should get the fact that, I mean, I'm a social democrat liberal, but I always question my beliefs. I always question what I think. I question my old beliefs. How do you think I left atheism? By, not questioning anything? I questioned it, and I said, is this right for me? How do you think I left the Rational Wiki Circle? Do you think I questioned everything. When I went into Metalgate, I came in very much not on the opposite side because I was always for freedom of speech, but I came in sort of not really willing to believe some of the things you guys said. As you remember, Jim, I was like, no, they're good people, they're good, and then later I was proven wrong, but I questioned it. Mm-hmm. I questioned you, and I questioned my preconceived notions, and I've come to the conclusion.
What you did there is a little thing called introspection.
Yes.
And whenever you try to project the world's ills on anyone but yourself, you're not performing a single ounce of it.
Yeah, and I came to the conclusion that basically I disagree with you on some things, I disagree with them on some things. I didn't embrace anyone wholeheartedly because that's not what I do. I can't, okay, I agree with Jim on this and this, don't agree with him on that, And by the way, I should make fun of him for liking KMFDM.
Fuck you. Anyway.
Oh.
As Slayer's Kerry King recently told Rolling Stone, people just have to make up their minds and not be into things because their friends are into it or because their girlfriend or their spouse or whoever is into it.
God, if I was into anything my girlfriends would into, I'd have the worst fucking music taste.
Mm-hmm.
I've had bad luck in that department.
I'll tell you the only reason I know what Savage Garden sounds like is because my ex-wife loved them at the beginning of our relationship. Then she ended up hating them after she got into Slayer and Cannibal Corpse.
Yes, and I know what Red Jumpsuit Apparatus sounds like because of my last girlfriend. It made me want to vomit. And then I showed her Dissection, and she didn't like it, and she broke up with me. So,
What you do need to recognize, however, is that politics and metal have gone hand in hand since the genre's inception, and that ain't going to change anytime soon. You do realize that I've made this argument against you fuckers before because you failed to recognize it at different points.
Now, Jim, are you accusing this lovely publication of occasionally being hypocritical?
All the time, hypocritical.
You said occasionally. That's the point I do differ with, and I do agree with Harriet. It is constant, 100% stream of bullshit.
Surely a fanzine magazine isn't going to ever do anything like that just to make money. That would be nonsense.
Oh, God.
It's just one long bucket of horse shit. I mean, I've never... I mean, yeah, in my past, I may have said metal had politics and no place in metal. But you remember I was 15 years old.
And one day after this was... And the day that this was posted, someone commented, Nobody said politics shouldn't be in metal. They have said that this site is too incompetent to talk about it.
Yes. Metal Sucks tries to be dry and sarcastic and tries to be ironic, and they just come off like the worst bumbling idiots.
Ironic or what Americans call ironic?
What Americans call ironic. I mean, the website's called Metal Sucks.
And they're supposed to be all about being into metal. It's like, yeah, we're ironic. And
it's supposed to be dry and sarcastic.
And it just comes off as shallow, vapid, idiotic.
Essentially, it's just metal clickbait then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
We rip apart because it's popular. If it wasn't popular,
it's quite hypocritical because it's trying to appeal to
hypocritical, you moron.
Not in the context I'm using it. It would be hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
Yep.
What does hypocritical mean then?
Similar to what you said, except it's talking about it from a different standpoint.
Well, it is. It is hypocritical.
Something can be hypocritical whilst also being hypocritical.
It's not so much hypocritical as it is just a failed joke that's somehow gotten millions of views. I kind of see why it's so big, because they just spoon-feed the readers what they want to see, but...
Well, that's exactly what I was going to make the point of, and the fact is that I think they're doing that to quite a large audience.
If it wasn't so big, I don't think we'd poke so many holes in it and read from it so many times. It's that it's big and somewhat influential. I mean, if it was Matt Goldberg's little shit blog, then I would just leave it alone. But because it's one of the biggest metal sites.
Kotaku was to Gamergate. You got a huge, influential magazine in the culture, which is trying to disseminate bullshit opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. Like I said,
lines.
And in some ways, trying to manipulate and influence the opinions within the culture.
I wouldn't say it's that malevolent. I think deep down inside they want it to be, but I think they're too bumbling to actually do it. They're a bit too stupid to actually, pull through. At least for Satan's sake, I hope so.
Well, since we touched upon a bit of my youth, let's go over an article from 2015 that reminds me more of my childhood.
Okay, 2015, about your childhood.
Arkansas. It was during the war, yes. Arkansas mom. It was during World War Zero. It predated World War One.
Back in 1890.
During the war with the fuzzy wuzzies.
Mm-hmm. Arkansas mom busted for giving 10-month-old son bourbon to stop him crying.
Shut up, you little bastard! It's fucking whiskey. Or bourbon.
Bourbon whiskey. Mm-hmm.
How much bourbon?
We'll find out.
We're talking like alcohol poisoning here.
We'll find out.
We haven't gotten there. An Arkansas mom who gave her baby son bourbon to stop him crying has been arrested for child endangerment and aggravated assault. I don't see what's aggravated about it. Child endangerment I'll take. That's valid. I don't know what's aggravated about it.
Hey, little bastard.
Hold on. We'll wait until we see the how much, first of all, to see if it actually encroaches on a level which is child endangerment.
Lori Shepard, 28, allegedly put bourbon in her 10-month-old son's bottle to stop him crying as he was suffering from painful gums last week.
You know what? I have the conversation. Here, this is what mommy uses to stop crying.
Well, do you know what it was? It's probably somebody said, she goes, oh, my daughter's teething. And somebody says, oh, you should give her bourbon, as in you should dip your finger in some bourbon and rub it on the gums.
Yes, except for it was a son, I believe.
And this...
Let's just keep doing it. Let's just go forward.
Took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Her boozy plot backfired when her son Ronald was rushed to a hospital emergency room after he was found limp and unresponsive.
That's many a nights for me back in the day.
So she put quite a lot of bourbon in. Okay, yes, child endangerment.
Yeah, like I said, I would accept the
I
child
would say
endangerment.
aggravated assault as well, and I'll explain why.
Okay, why?
Because the drug, in this case alcohol, was administered without the consenting knowledge of the person it was administered to. So it is a form of assault, just like drugging anyone would be.
So breastfeeding is a fucking assault now. Okay.
No, breastfeeding is giving nutrition. You're not supplying a drug. And the baby is...
What if you're drunk while doing so?
then yes, technically you could make an argument that it's child endangerment.
Yes, but you could also
its
make an
delivery
argument.
system isn't by proxy. It wasn't like the one where went, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to neck a load of whiskey, then breastfeed my child. So there is a difference between I was drinking and then breastfed my child, as opposed to I'm deliberately going to drink and then breastfeed my child.
But you can also make an argument that I hate children, so.
You can also make the argument that I would have enjoyed being raised up drinking that.
You would have been like, "Oh, Mommy, you've already drank 3 bottles, and I don't mean baby bottles. I mean I'm running out."
Shepard's mother suggested rubbing alcohol on the child's gums, but she allegedly put booze in Ronald's bottle. During police questioning, Shepard initially denied giving the baby alcohol, but ultimately confessed.
It's Arkansas. I mean, they pioneered white trash.
Beautiful people.
Yes, I think if you added up everyone in the entire state, you'd have one set of human teeth and about one line of complete human gene.
I don't care. It's where I must go to spread my wings.
Nah.
Defile them all.
You'd hate it.
Yeah, I would, but they would need to be defiled, where I must corrupt. Shepard had insisted to investigators that her boy was fine before she placed him in the playpen inside the family's trailer home in Mount Holly.
He did really get kind of aggressive and verbally abusive, but he was fine.
I've got the soul of trailer trash myself.
Yeah, well, so do I, somewhere.
The mom claimed that she briefly left the trailer and returned home later to find Ronald unconscious and unresponsive.
Mama, go away, I'm drunk.
The boy was airlifted to Arkansas Children's Hospital in Little Rock. The boy was later discharged into the custody of child welfare workers after several days of treatment.
He smells like death.
Shepard was booked into jail on felony charges, and her bond is set at $10,000.
They're starting early in Arkansas.
Yes, earlier than me, and I was at 4, man. Fuck. I remember whenever I was younger and Jeff stole booze from his parents, and we're sitting there trying to drink it, and we were young, so we took a swig, took a chaser. But I sat there after taking the chaser, and he ate a piece of bread each time. And I'm fucking getting tanked off my ass, drooling. It's like, dude, you're faking. You're like, you can't be drunk because I don't feel anything. And he was eating bread, which sopped it up. So
how old are you?
We were like in our early teens.
Oh.
Very early.
I think
so I was smart enough to know, yes, eating bread would inhibit my buzz. Meanwhile, he's like, I gotta do it to kill the taste.
See, the first time I tried alcohol, I hated the taste. I just sucked it up. But see, I think it'd be funny if you were 4 and you were doing that.
Well, I was 4 years old with the cough medicine. Yeah.
Jimmy, you're not moving.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Warped sense of humor could be a sign of impending dementia.
Oh yes, this is for I've been fucked. Well, seeing as how my brain's seemingly deteriorated today, I'm pretty sure I have dementia.
I'm pretty sure I do too. There's a lot of things I should remember.
Yeah, because you can't remember that guy's name or what band he was in, even though he.
And I even played with them. What the fuck? I can't remember.
You probably see him every day. Like, hey, I know I just asked you yesterday, but
research has found dementia patients' friends and family noticed a distinct change in their loved one's sense of humor.
You know what? This bodes well for me. There was no change. Even when I was 7 or 8, I thought the electric chair was the funniest thing in the world.
Yes, same here. Except I think I thought it was funny earlier, but, you know.
Well, I was just giving an example, Fagtron.
I mean, I'm the kid that had nightmares of the Care Bears, but I sat through fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was all good fun for me.
I'm the kid who used to crucify Buzz Lightyear dolls just to see what position Jesus would have been in. Not as some sort of like holy shrine, just to literally imagine him being tortured to death.
An increasingly dark or twisted sense of humor could be an early warning sign of impending dementia, according to experts.
Well, apparently it's been about 22 years, so for me,
yeah, we're fucked. Dr. Camilla Clark recruited 48 patients with frontotemporal dementia from their dementia clinic at University College London. The patients' friends and family were asked to rate their friends' relatives' enjoyment of different kinds of comedy. These included slapstick, such as Mr. Bean, satirical comedies, such as Yes, Minister,
Yay.
or absurdist comedies, such as Monty Python, and examples of inappropriate humor.
Monty Python was hit and miss.
Put your testicles in the blender. It'll be funny.
And then, well, we could eat her. You want to eat my mother? Well, look, if you're not happy with it, we could always just chuck her up in a ditch. You could always just throw her up in a ditch, or whatever. I don't remember how that's, but it was a funny thing. But anyway, you know, Jim, if you and I still know each other 10 years from now, the shows would be like this. What? Huh? Where am I? I don't know. Am I wearing pants? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Dr. Clark found that dementia patients preferred slapstick humor to satirical when compared to 21 healthy people of a similar age.
That's good for me because I find slapstick annoying. So
nearly
basically,
all of those asked said that they had noticed a change in the patient's humor within the previous 9 years before being diagnosed with dementia. The changes included a darker sense of humor and laughing at tragic events in the news or their personal lives. Yes!
See, if slapstick was described to me, then maybe I would have liked it, but it's just so visual that it's just, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, but yes, I love dark, morbid humor, and what tragic events in the news are funny. Ah, fuck.
We
That's
do
loud.
enough of that, I think.
I don't think we do enough, personally.
Yeah. These are marked changes, completely inappropriate humor, well beyond the realms of even distasteful humor.
Oh yeah. I'm the one who I think I posted after the Russian airline, or after the airline was bombed out of the sky. Well, I'm sorry about that, chaps. Let's see, I think we just bombed a plane out of the sky, killed about 200 people. We'll get it right next time. And my girlfriend at the time was like, that was vile. And I was like, thank you.
For example, one man laughed when his wife badly scalded herself. The pot's hot, don't touch it.
You have to go to the hospital now.
While memory loss is often the first thing that springs to mind when we hear the word dementia, this study highlights the importance of looking at the myriad of different symptoms that impact on daily life and relationships.
Good God.
A deeper understanding of the full range of dementia symptoms will increase our ability to make a timely and accurate diagnosis.
So I'm fucked.
Yeah, we're both fucked. Beyond the realms of even describing how fucked.
I mean, I'm a sociopath.
Laughing at people jumping from the fucking Twin Towers before they collapsed.
Hey, I was hoping there was some sort of incident where a guy jumped out of a plane with no parachute, landed on his back. I was so hoping he'd die. It was on Fox. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. So much fun that was missed over time.
Although I also like satirical as well, but I've always liked morbid. Basically, if we combine morbid and satirical, I'll be a happy bunny.
A woman has started a preschool for adults where they have nap, play, and snack time.
Great, that's what we fucking need, an adult preschool. Because so many people are mental midgets and fucking adult babies, I guess we might as well have an adult preschool. Just stab me. Just stab me in that fucking temple. Just end my pain.
Everyone says your school days were the best, and surely the best of all were your preschool days when you got to doss around in the sand pit for hours, interspersed with naps and food.
Shit, no, I hated naps. I loathed naps, which is funny because I love them now. But no, I hated naps when I was in preschool because they just seemed to take forever. Because I would always wake up, so I was like, shit, fuck naps, dude.
Don't you wish you could go back sometimes?
No.
Well, actually, I kind of do, but that's because I learned how to pick up chicks.
I would have to say...
I could have been more dangerous then, too, knowing what I know now about hurting people. I also might have been in juvenile hall for, rearranging bullies' anatomy.
I would have to say that I can't think of any even 10th and 11th grade, which were probably the best years of high school, still kind of sucked. I'd have to say the best time I'm having is right now. / or when I was with my punk gang. If we combine the show and you and freaking all the friends I've made with the gang, the fucking puke gang, then I would have the best time and you would be dead from alcohol poisoning.
And we would also have to recruit everyone that died and went to jail and had families and move them back in time to whenever we partied our asses off, and then have all that just meld together. That would be like, oh my God! Cities would burn.
Yes. Yes, they would.
Now you can, if you got a spare $1,000, 670 pounds, which is what it can cost for 5 nights at the world's first preschool for adults in New York. I keep looking at this, and I keep thinking of trying. Well, there's one girl I know that would be totally on board into doing this as a fetish.
The sad thing is I could probably afford it. Not the plane ticket, but the $1,000 I could probably afford. Maybe. But goddamn, why?
Yes, teacher. What are you doing? This is part of education. This is going up your cunt. I would say it better, but I'm not going to fucking get full bore into it right now. That would just put disgusting images in people's brains.
It's already put disgusting images in my brain.
Run by Michelle Joni, the play school for big kids has a show and tell.
I'll show and tell something. This is my Pantera. These are my fucking pants. They Jim. Last time I showed my Pantera, they called the cops.
Dressing up time, nap time, and snack time.
I got my own fucking snack and nap time.
They also like to build things out of Play-Doh.
See. Here's me in preschool. We had this thing called tracking, which was basically rudimentary Braille, where you were supposed to track lines, basically so you get an idea of what Braille felt like. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's me in preschool. Elliot, it's time to do some tracking. No. Why not? I don't wanna. Well, you're supposed to do some okay. Well, then sit in timeout. Okay. Because I fucking hated authority even then.
The preschool mastermind program is run out of Michelle's home in Brooklyn and even has parents' evenings where attendees can showcase their work. Hey, Mom, this is a picture that I finger painted with my balls.
And then the parents have to look patronizing and go, That's really good. You know, I mean, I always love that. We're going to hang this on the refrigerator, and then they just laugh at you.
But why are professionals shelling out $1,000 to mess around with Play-Doh, you may well ask?
I don't want to know.
Like I said, this is just one huge sexual fetish waiting to be plucked.
See, I think you're looking at this in the way that it's supposed to be looked at, but they're not, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, I remember when I was dating the fucking one daddy's girl. Fucking, she would use figure paints and shit and sit there and cuddle up with her fucking teddy bear while I fucking pounded her. And she called my cock her favorite toy.
See, I like a little bit of maturity. Like, I like, you know...
Well, it was the whole entire I'm corrupting innocence thing that...
Yes, I know. I understand, but, you know, my thing. I mean, I've only corrupted. I'd like to spend some time with someone who's moderately corrupted already. So why?
Amanda Devereaux, class member and lawyer, agrees, saying, "It's a contrast for my job. My mom just sent me a sweater to wear for class picture day." But parents are fucking doing this.
Okay, I'm just going to say, if my son or daughter, if I were to ever have a child, said that they were going to do this, what I would say is, you're changing your last name. You're changing. I don't want to be associated with you ever again.
Michelle sees the class as a form of therapy, allowing adults to work through their problems and deal with stress by getting in touch with their inner child.
What happened to just drinking yourself happy or freaking killing people or whatever happened to going on a shooting spree for fun? That relieves stress easily.
Mother of two and author Sarah Fader explains, "I wanted to get back to that feeling of freedom and childlike fun and wonder."
My childlike fun and wonder was ruined as soon as I realized that the world was fucked. After that, pretty much my inner child just was strangled by my inner cynic.
So we're talking about when I sold drugs out of my dad's attic.
Yes.
That's whenever I had the freedom and childlike fun and wonder. I am God of the ants.
I haven't had that
They are in
since
their fearful phase. Soon they will come to worship me.
I haven't had that since I got sober.
Mm-hmm.
It
helps me to be a better parent.
I would be a shit parent, and I know I would be a shit parent because I don't like playing with children. My cousin it was over, and he likes to play and wrestle, and I'm just like...
The class has, however, been criticized as weird online, as well as being mistaken for a fetish club. Why isn't it a fetish club?
Because people aren't as cool as us. Okay? People aren't as cool as us. I knew this was going to be as lame as I thought it would be, as weird and stupid as I thought it would be. I just went along with your vision because it was a better vision than what it really was. It's called denial, damn it.
Michelle admits we've had some adults inquire about changing diapers and adult baby play. That's not what this is. Pathetic.
I mean, granted, I'm not into child fetish. I've tried it. Didn't really care for it, but God, that'd be more interesting than some sort of therapy session where you regress to... That just reeks of neo-yuppie filth.
Neo-yuppie filth it is indeed. She agrees it's not for everyone, but is unapologetic. People say it's a weird thing to do. I say you're probably right, she chuckles.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people who like to be kids again. See, I wouldn't want to be a kid again because I didn't know all this shit that I know now. That's the thing, is I was happy as a child. And I don't want to be that blind, Chaz, make a joke and I'll murder you. I don't want to be that blind happy ever again. I want to know that we're being fucked over. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I didn't say anything. You started that.
I know, yes, but you were thinking it, I know.
I wasn't even going to think it. I
But
was
see,
focusing on messaging somebody, and
I don't want to be that innocently happy ever again, because I like knowing that we're corrupt and we're living in a shithole. There's something beautiful about it. I have found happiness in misanthropy and depression. If you think you can't find happiness in misanthropy and depression, if you think you need to revert to childhood, to innocence to be happy, fine. I like my uninnocence.
I like destroying innocence.
Yes, I've done my fair share of that.
And I think that's about all I got today.
Alright, so if you'd like to regress to child... my brain's dead because of this.
As it should be.
look, basically, don't judge us on this episode. Friday night is the 100th episode, the big 100. So our best show is obviously going to be that this week. We're conserving our energy for a much better show, which won't be Friday. It will actually be Thursday.
That show's gonna suck.
But that's only from a personal perspective, because we will bring about the pain.
Yeah, it might be a great show for you guys. I still think the best show is the Ryan from Intestinal Disgorge one, or the Metal Elitism one. So this has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 99 for the 1st of August 2016. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can email us at ellinthemoon@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers, and Twitter is SwineBros666. For the guy who doesn't want me to be mentioned, even though his name appears right here, I'll just call him. I'll call him by code name, Chaz. And for my other co-host, The Jim, I have been Elliot Lindemood. We'll see you Thursday, apparently.
Mm-hmm.